And finally, at least 50 people have been killed in a bombing incident in eastern Afghanistan. It hit the Yahyakhail district in Paktika province during an inter-district volleyball tournament. Local sources say a man on a motorcycle detonated his explosive materials that he had in the middle of the match. At least 70 more were wounded, many of them critically. Most of the casualties are civilians. Paktika, bordering Pakistan, is one of Afghanistan's most volatile regions. Today's attack is one of the deadliest so far this year. To get the latest on that, we're now joined by Faiz Khurshid, Press TV's correspondent, who's joining us live now from the Afghan capital. Now, Faiz, what more do we know about this latest attack?
Waqar Mukhlis Afghan, the spokesperson for the governor of Paktika, has told us on the phone that it was a very deadly explosion and there were a large number of people watching the match when the explosion took place, and most of the victims are young Afghans. Now, he has told us that over 50 people are dead and over 60 others are badly wounded. But he told us that the number of casualties may rise because the wounded are in a very critical condition. Many other people have already died of their wounds in overly crowded hospitals. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack, but many are blaming the Taliban insurgents for this terrorist attack in that part of this country. And it comes hours after the Afghan parliament signed and approved the bilateral security agreement with the United States of America. And then based on this deal, about 10,000 American forces would be operating in this country until 2016. So many here believe it's another message by the Taliban militants to both to the government of the United States of America and the Afghan government, that they remain strong and they would continue to step up their attacks. But what is very disturbing is that their Taliban attacks usually cause civilian casualties, and this deadly attack has also took heavy toll on innocent civilians in this country.
Now, Faiz, because Paktika is close to Pakistan, I wanted to take the opportunity then and discuss the relationship between Pakistan and Afghanistan in the sense of these terrorist attacks, because there have been accusations and counter accusations between both countries about terrorism and support and militancy, etc. Where does that stand right now?
Well, to be honest with you, the Afghan people hate the Pakistani government officials very much, and the people here in Afghanistan are now putting pressure on their new government, especially on the new president of this country, Ashraf Ghani Ahmadzai, to put all pressure on the Pakistani side to get tough on the militants on that side of the border. Because if you travel to Afghanistan, you won't find any single sanctuary of the Taliban. It's mostly in Pakistan, and they cross the border and come to Afghanistan and launch deadly attacks that cause civilian casualties. So such attacks, cross-border attacks, actually have usually strained the relations between Kabul and Islamabad. Now it remains to be seen, with having a new government here in Kabul, whether these two governments would be able to get tough on the militants, either here in Afghanistan and also on that side of the border.
Okay, Faiz, as always, thanks very much for that.